Hello and welcome everybody to the Snapping Ellen podcast. I am Baby Mario, joined as always by my co-host, someone here ago.
And we are your hosts for today's podcast, episode one, and definitely our first take.
Yes, the first take. Yeah, we definitely didn't do three or four more before this one. Yes, for sure. Yes. So, as today is the first pod, we are actually extremely excited to be starting off. I guess, to start off, we should really introduce ourselves, just so that everyone knows who we are. I guess I'll go ahead and start. My name is Baby Mario. I have not been around the community nearly as long as some other players have, but I do consider myself a competitive grinder. I do spend quite a lot of time playing this game and around the community. And for those of you who don't already know, my favorite card is Mad Thinker. I'm probably like the only person that enjoys playing slash the card in general. So yeah, I am the Mad Thinker guy.
When Mario says he is the mad thinker guy, he really means it. I think he is crippled his competitive play by trying to jam mad thinker in like every single deck he could possibly maybe has some like synergy with.
Well, what do you mean? I think Mad Thinker Lockdown is definitely a competitive deck that everyone should try.
Yes,
You know,
yes. Because you always fill your hand with that.
always
That's
fill your
the
hand
law.
with Lockdown. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. All right.
Yes,
And
yes.
I am someone here ago. You guys can refer to me as someone. My favorite archetype in Marvel Snap is Mr. Negative. And I know
Boo!
by saying I know by saying that I might have lost a couple of would-be fans, but trust me, if you stay, I'll convince you guys that Mr. Negative is not cringe and that he's super fun actually.
I'm actually doubting us like starting this podcast is a good idea because all this is gonna be is a propaganda for Mad Finger and Mr. Negative stuff. So,
Propaganda tool. I mean, we're trying
propaganda
to get the
too.
word out. We're trying to get the word out.
I'm trying to
You
get the
know.
word out. Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Yes,
uh,
yes. All right.
anyways, as you guys can hear, we're having lots of fun, and we hope that you will as well for the content that we have for you guys. And to begin things, we should talk about the new season, Visions of the Future. We got a lot of cards. We got a lot of cards this Tuesday, and there are a bunch of interesting designs. Mario, why don't you take us off with the premium and super premium cards?
Yeah, perfect. Of course, yeah. So, like someone mentioned, the new season just started this Tuesday, actually, and with it, we got three cards that were released this Tuesday. We have Sparky, we have Viv Vision, and then we have Mora X. Mora X is not the season pass card, so we'll get to her in just a second. So, starting with the just the regular, I guess you could call it season pass card, Viv Vision. Viv Vision is a 3/2, and her text reads as 1 second. My gosh. Y- I can't believe I don't have stuff pulled up already. I'm really a failure. I'm really failing at this kind of stuff.
No,
My
no.
gosh. Okay.
We've done this two times before, and he still can't get it up
I still
before
I'm really just not ready for this kind of stuff. Yes. So Viv Vision is a 3/2, and her text reads at the start of each turn, give all cards in your hand +1 power if you are winning here. Otherwise, move this to another location. All right. So my first thoughts of this card is when reading her text, I saw at the start of each turn, and it made me think of Mad Thinker. Therefore, she is a great card. No, no. No, I think Viv Vision is if I had to rate her out of 10, I would do a 5, 6, or 7. I don't think she's what she could have been. For those of you who know the data mines, Viv Vision was going to be an end of turn. And she had different stat line and everything. And if she had released as she was data mined, she would have, I think, broken the game to Iron Patriot levels of breaking the game, you know? Um, so I'm happy that they released her at less of a issue that Iron Patriot was at release. But as she is right now, she is I would call her pretty weak. I don't think many decks outside of Hand Buff and Surfer are really gonna want to run her over another three. And I think this mainly stems from the issue of as a 3-2, she doesn't really have that ability to win the lane all that often, you know? I think that comparing to Iron Patriot, who is a 2 cost, moving into a 3 cost, like you could do Iron Patriot at a 2-3 into Gladiator at 3-8, you know? While here with Viv Vision, you put Viv Vision at a 3-2, and then you add a 4 drop. Now the difference between 4 drop and 3 drop is actually quite interesting, and I actually learned a lot about this from KM Best or about 2 or 3 days ago, and he was talking about the difference between 4 and 3 drops. 4 drops aren't nearly as, I guess you call them, don't have the stat lines that 3 drops have. You know, 3 drops, they have Copycat, which is a 3-5. They have Gladiator, which is a 3-8. They have there's a bunch of other 3-5s or 3-4s that will usually end up winning a lane if you, especially on turn 3. While with Viv Vision, since she is going into a 4 drop, one of the highest statted 4 drops that still has a good, I guess you call it, upside is what's it called, Misery. And I don't think you usually want to be playing Misery dry, especially to win a lane. Um, so I don't think that Viv Vision, especially with where she's at, is um broken per se, but like that's not a bad thing, you know? Like she is, I guess you could call her skippable. Like if you aren't a fan of hand buff or surfer, there's really no reason to pick her up besides like she's a free card that came with the pass. Um, but yeah, I mean, she's just not like out of 10, she's not an 8, 9, or 10, which I would usually recommend picking up. Now, the same cannot be said about Sparky.
Okay, Sparky is a whole different topic. But
Yeah.
I'll interject for a second. I do want to get my thoughts out on Big Vision. I will say that as the week has gone by, I think I've become a little bit higher on Viv Vision than you. Okay, it's as you said, it's a really snowbally card, right?
Mhm.
Like if it happens every turn that you get, like if you play Viv Vision on 3 and it happens every single turn on 4 and 5 and on 6, then like it's amazing. It's like the best card ever. Like
Yeah,
it's like
obviously.
your brood is like a 3/6. It's like
Yeah.
it's really crazy once it happens, and if it happens once, it's easier to get it to happen the next time because you already have a buff card in hand. You can play like
Mhm.
a Sebastian Shaw right next, like right down, or
Yeah.
and the difficulty comes with getting the snowball started, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it, and maybe like if you're running Quicksilver and Domino, or just Domino, and you play Domino like in an uncontested lane, and you play Vision right behind Domino, I think it's like not unreasonable that your opponent just can't really contest it. Like I think there's a world in which this card can definitely become a mid-range staple. Like I don't know if how likely it is to happen, but like against a combo deck like Mr. Negative or Hello, like, they're not playing anything on turns 1, 2, and 3, so like you're probably gonna win that lane. You're probably going to win that lane more often than not. Now, like I mean, maybe if you're playing against a combo deck, then they don't really care about whatever you're doing, and they'll just go over the top of you. But I do think there's a chance. Like there's a reason why they pre-nerfed it from a 3/3 to a 3/2. Like it was supposed to be a 3/3, and when it released, it was a 3/2, and the reason might have been like in their testing, out of 3/3, it was just winning too often.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I can definitely agree with that. I'm personally happy that they released her at where she's at. I'm of the opinion that you should release, especially season pass cards, which are known to, I guess you call it, take over the game in a way. I am of the opinion that you should release them a little weaker than what they have been released at. Especially considering Iron Patriot, Pedro, Sam Wilson, Captain America, another one. I'm happy that they released her where she's at and not at a game-breaking state, which is where she was at a certain point in her Dynamites. Yes. And so now we can go ahead and jump into the next card, the Super Premium Season Pass card. Sparky. You guys will hear a little bit about what I think about this card in a second, but Sparky is a 2/1 with the text that reads Activate. Give your last card that no, sorry, give your card that last moved +3 power, and then move it back to its previous location. Okay. This card is broken. I'm gonna be honest.
Just straight up broken instead
It's
of minced words.
no, out of 10, I rate this a 9. This is an if you are a move gamer, you need to pick this up or you are falling behind kind of situation, you know? Um, if you enjoy move in any way, shape, or form, this card is going to be a move staple for as long as he's around, honestly. Like his text is original. Like moving back to the previous position gives you a bunch of different ways you can play around with card. You can move the card left and then move it right back to the right and then bounce with that. I think the card is insane. Like I've had games, especially when I was playing Move Bounce, where I drop a Human Torch on 6 and out of literal nowhere, it is a 318. And my opponent doesn't see that coming usually. And 318 will more likely than not win you that lane. And I was actually looking back at it just now, and the data mines for Sparky were supposed to be a 2/3 with +2. Um, it's funny because Secondary has had a bit of a history with breaking those +3 cards.
Yeah.
Uh, but if basically this card boils down to if you play move bounce, you are going to want to pick this card up. Even if you don't play move or move bounce, I would still recommend picking up the card because it's just a generically good card as well. Like I actually figured this out the other day. This card is actually anti-Jug Tech. Sparky works with an unrevealed card. So, for example, I was gonna lose the left lane because of a Juggernaut, and it moved my unrevealed Sage back to where it was, and it won me the game because of that. So Sparky does have potential as an outside tech card as well, especially in a Juggernaut meta where I think this card
Wait,
would have been insane. you know?
wait. I actually didn't know that. Sparky
Yes.
works on unrevealed cards.
Yes, I figured
That
this out the other day, and I'm probably like one of the first few people that I figured this out because that is actually kind of insane, and it has
that
won games for me.
that is kind of crazy tech. Like I okay, that did kind of raise my evaluation of this card a little bit.
Mhm.
Although not by much since it's already so good.
It
Yeah,
is.
yeah. So yeah, as Mario said, Second Dinner has had a history of releasing two cost cards that have +3 somewhere on their text and it being broken. Think about Athena, think about like well, Havoc was +4. Can you even believe it? Can you believe
Jeez,
that?
Havoc was
Havoc
plus
was
four.
plus
Yeah.
four. They had to bring it down. I
Mm.
think uh, early I'm trying to remember, Elsa Bloodstone was
Oh
plus
yes, Elsa
plus three.
Bloodstone.
Yeah,
Elsa
so
Bloodstone
plus
was a 2/2. Jeez. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
so +3 has been a long maligned power buff to give to cards, and honestly, Sparky is one of those cards that I can see a nerf coming within like the next month, right?
Oh yeah,
Or
for sure.
maybe like yeah, it just seems like with the Human Torch specifically, it's just like it's so much power that you can put out just at the drop of a hat. You can just put out 18 power Human Torch, and if you do it earlier than turn 6, which isn't like I mean
Yeah.
that's not a big requirement. If you do it earlier
Mhm.
than turn 6, and you can get Human Torch to 36 and then
Mhm.
72, and it's
Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
like it scales immensely, and then at that point you're just winning like one lane. You get to pick a lane to just win,
Win
right?
automatically. Yeah. And
Like
now
unless you're playing like Mr. Negative or Tribunal, but like even then, like you're contesting. Like if Mr. Negative did not get like a good draw, or then you're going to win that like half the time,
oh
even.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So move staple.
Yes.
I would not be surprised if this became like either a 2-0 or maybe they did like
Plus
maybe
two,
they
two,
did
three.
like yeah, two
Yeah.
three plus two. Although I think that's still kind of like really good.
I
Like
think it's
even
still
with
really
Human
good.
Torch,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
But even if you're not doing this with Human Torch, it's still like
Oh yeah. No.
getting to
100%.
choose when to move a card. Like you can just
Mm.
like you're storing a move for when you
Oh yeah.
need it. So like with Dagger, with Human Torch, like even with like I don't know multiple man, if you really wanted to go that route, like I don't, there might be like a multiple man Phoenix Force sort of thing that you could
Yeah.
do.
For sure. For sure.
There's a lot of interesting cards. If you in any way want to play with move, you need to get this card.
Yeah.
One thing to note is that even though it is the Super Premium Season Pass card, you can get it with tokens. Second Dinner has listened to
Yeah.
community feedback, and you are not required to pay $10, but if you can
It's a
spend
free
the token.
6K then. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
mean like. It depends on what you value more.
Exactly, 100%. I think that this was a great change the second gen made. Now all they're basically giving you in the Super Premium Season Pass card is a variant, and since they changed the card acquiring form about a couple months ago now, where if you got a variant, you automatically get that card, which I still think is a great change that they made. I'm super happy about that. Now you just get a variant plus the card, and so it's basically a variant. I want to say it's like 1,200 gold, more than that, like 1,500 gold plus 6K tokens plus a bunch of borders that you might like. I think this was green cosmic, and like 10 levels on the season on the season pass. I think it's a great deal. I bought it because I cannot save tokens for the life of me. But yeah, I think it's a great buy if you do like move, but you're not forced to buy the card. You can still acquire it with tokens. And I think that's a great change that Second Dinner has made for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like I think as is the season pass, the super premium season pass, and the gold pass still remain the top three uh, purchases that if you want to spend money on the game, you should be spending on those three things
Mhm.
first, right?
For sure. Yeah, 100%. Yes. So, the next card I guess we're going to talk about today is the card that released alongside Sparky and Viv Vision. And this card is Mora X. I'll go ahead and read the text, and someone you can go ahead and give us your thoughts after that. Mora X is a 1/2. Her text reads, when this is destroyed, get a copy of your opening hand. Okay, so before someone goes ahead and takes over and talks about this card, I would like to mention that this is a Mad Thinker card, therefore she is on my wish list. Yeah, so great card, 100%, 10 out of 10, buy it immediately.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Like there is some synergy with Matt Thinker, given that you are generating three cards in hand. This is a very, very unique effect in the game. Like the only other card I think generates three cards in your hand is Nick Fury, and that's like not at all comparable to
No.
to what this is doing. All right, so Moira X is a very interesting fusion of like two archetypes, right? It wants you to destroy it, so you have to have some measure of destroy in your deck. But what it's asking you is like do you have how much payoff is in your like deck for getting cards in your hand?
Mhm.
Um, so like obviously the first thing you can think of is Victoria Hand, right? You generating three
Mhm.
cards, like that's amazing. You might generate an extra Victoria Hand, an extra hood, like you get a bunch of resources. Um, so I'm actually a little bit high on this card personally. I haven't seen it that much being
No.
played, but like when it is played, it is quite interesting. If it's
Mhm.
played in a destroyed deck, just a full-on destroyed deck, no other shenanigans, you might be worried that they have like two deaths in hand now, or like they have a bunch of they can just plop down two 0/12s at the end of the game, and you have no idea,
Yeah,
right?
sure,
I
yeah.
I think this card is very very unique, and I quite like it.
Perfect, yeah. And so, someone, how would you rate this card out of 10 if you had to right now?
Out of 10, I think it's probably a 7, to
A
be honest.
7. Oh, that's pretty good, yeah. So it's about the same level as Viv Vision, is what you're saying, in other words. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So my thoughts on the card is obviously besides the Mad Thinker part, I think this is a very cool card. Not only because you can get two of cards that you might want like V hands, deaths, and stuff, but I think this is opening the doors to a new archetype, which is V hand destroy. I think that if you out of literally nowhere drop a 0/24, which is two deaths, and then a bunch of V hands, like you will more often than not be winning those games. Like I think that it creates a new archetype in V-Hand Destroy, and I think it's definitely something that's worth exploring. And I think that the reason people just aren't using this card, or people think the card isn't good, is because it hasn't found its space to perform it. People haven't figured out what the optimized 11 cards around it will be. And when that happens, I think it's going to be a very competitive deck, and I will definitely be one of those people that is trying to test with her. Although my route will be more a mad thinker route. How many mad thinkers going to get on the board is basically what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, I mean, like you get a lot of help with it filling your hand and all. Like, I mean,
Oh
okay,
yeah,
there's also the thing of like I mean, if you want to put collector in here, this makes collector a 2/5, like just
just right
straight
out of the
up
middle of nowhere. Yeah,
out
for
of
sure.
nowhere. It's a really cool card. I do like the design they went with this. Um,
100%.
yeah, the next card that we'll talk about is Bastion. So this one should be releasing next week, September 9th. Bastion is a 4/3 with the effect on reveal. Add copies of your other cards here to your hand. Set their costs to 2 and power to 3. What do you think, Mario?
Okay. I am personally a little higher on Bastion than someone probably is. I think Bastion is a very cool card. I really like the card concept. I feel like I can't actually give an opinion on what the card can do, but what I've heard from people who can picture, I guess, a deck that he would work in, is that he is going to be the best card of the season, and so that's kind of where I'm basing my opinion on him from. But if I didn't have the opinion of other people, my first reaction would be that's it for a four cost, because like its cost, its stat line doesn't really justify the cost. And I obviously, the obvious answer for this is V hand. Get two or three V hands extra in your hand because you set up a lane beforehand. And I think that's insane. Especially in games you higher roll with Frigga on three or something, or you have like basically it is V hand on two, Frigga on three, and then you could do like Bastion and some V hand shenanigans if you have like a Quinjet down. I think it's a cool card. I think that's as is. I don't exactly know where to put it. I don't know how to rate it because I don't know what this card is going to be using or how good it's going to be. Obviously, check. I would say check back in with both of us in about honestly like a week.
Next episode.
Next
Next.
episode. Next episode, we'll definitely give you guys our thoughts and opinions on what this card will do, like unofficial, I guess you call it, rating of this card. But as it is, I don't think either of us are really qualified, especially because neither of us really play V-Hand as much, to give an opinion on what this card is going to do.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I will say, yeah, neither of us are playing the hand all that much, but
Hmm.
I will say I'm just not as convinced as Mario or as other people that this really will be a staple in that deck. I'm okay, for me, the thing that I fixate on is the 4/3 stat line. I mean, this is the stat line of Shang-Chi, and I don't know if this is a Shang-Chi level effect.
Yeah,
Like,
for
I
sure.
mean, I understand that you can't get those crazy games where you have like two V hands down, you play Bastion, and then suddenly you're gonna have like four V hands at the end of the game. Like, yeah, that can happen, but to me personally, I don't see that happening often enough
Hmm.
to make this like that much of a good card. Like, I think this will be good in those decks as a consistency tool, but I don't know if he's going to be like the number one, like right after Victoria Hand. This is a card you need to have in that
Yeah,
deck.
100%.
There's
Yeah.
also the other angle of Cerebro.
Oh.
This is a Cerebro card. I mean, for three C3, I mean, like it could be cool, but it's the same thing, right? Like, you have to play Cerebro, Mystique, or like you play Cerebro on three, you play this, and then now you have an extra Cerebro. I mean, like maybe again, it might be like, I mean, C3 is a real deck now. I have to keep reminding myself that it's not a meme deck anymore. That is real and has some like serious power behind it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I don't think any of the Cerebro decks are running like any C3 decks are running four costs except for one other card that we're gonna get to. Um, four costs just might be awkward in that deck. I'm not sure. Anyways, yeah, I'm not too high on this card, but we'll see next week. We'll tell
Yeah.
you guys whether or not I was wrong or I'm a genius and I actually predicted everything from the beginning.
For sure, yeah. I think I definitely agree. It's a little early for us to give an opinion on this card. I'm a little higher than someone is, but like it's just personal opinions. At the end of the day, like cards we'll get into are definitely like that. Especially new cards that we don't know what they're gonna do yet. Um,
Yeah.
and so after talking about the Series 5 cards that have released or that are going to be released in next week, I think it's a good idea to move into the Series 4 cards that were released. So we had two cards that were released alongside Mora X, Sparky, and Vivision, and these are Awesome Andy and Omega Sentinel. I'll start off with Awesome Andy, and then I'll let someone talk about Omega Sentinel a little bit more. Awesome Andy is a 2/1 with the text that reads activate, give one of your cards at each location +2 power. Okay. This card was created. Well, the character itself was created by Mad Thinker in the comics, therefore he's a 10 out of 10 card. No. So really, if you think about it, this season is just Mad Thinker support. You know, like you have
You mean
Bad
my
season.
thinker support, my thinker season?
It's a Mad Thinker season. It's the Visions of Mad Thinker season, obviously.
Visions of Matt Thinker.
Visions
That
of
would be
Mad.
that goes hard, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So like, beyond the fact that I have Awesome Andy pinned in my shop for that reason, Awesome Andy, I would call him a not a very good card. You know, I obviously, I love the name. I think it's such a cool looking card. Like the effects, if you've seen it in game already, awesome. Like I love it. It's cute. It's awesome. The problem with this card is why. My initial reaction is, why would you run this card over another 212? Why would you run this card over Herbie, who does what he does, but 10 times better is what I would call it. Why?
Yeah, I
Why
mean,
would definitely,
I'll say that like that one point. It's like this card is just worse Herbie. It's worse than
Yeah.
one of the their modes of Herbie. Like I think it's very clearly like draft chaff. It's like it's the uncommons of or I guess you could say the commons of this season. I mean, I think it's only exists this is just to be like support for the activate archetype coming the
Yeah.
with the future release of Jocasta, which is basically the activate Wong, but like
The better.
but yeah, but
Yeah.
better. But like yeah, this just there's not really a reason to play this over anything else.
Oh
Like
yeah.
there's not really it's worse than Toxie. It's worse than
Yeah.
Toxie.
Yeah.
It's and
100%.
Toxie is already kind of bad. Like I mean,
Yeah.
so like I don't know why you would play this.
No,
Um
honestly, like I think the only place I could even consider playing this card is Nomura. But then, like, who plays Nomura nowadays? That's the question, you know?
I mean, no more is fun, but like, yeah, you're right, you're right. I mean, the other card on the other hand, Omega Sentinel, a 4/3, activate, afflict the highest power enemy card here, with no, not here. Afflict the highest power enemy card with -7 power, and this is a lot more interesting. So this is the other card that I said is also cerebral. I'm kidding. It's not just a cerebral card. I have seen some people play in cerebral, and essentially this is just like different Shang-Chi. Like I mean it's
It's like
it's
obliterate the highest power on their
yeah,
set and
the
and
highest
make it
power is like
irrelevant.
yeah, it's like
You know?
oh they played a Wiccan? No, it's -1 power. Or, I mean you're usually not gonna activate it on turn four, but like
No.
or you couldn't
No.
activate it on turn four, but like
Mm.
yeah, this is just a card like I mean it's a 4/10,
Hmm.
but it's a 4/10 that where its power is applied
By
where
its
you need
effect.
it most
Yeah.
theoretically, right? Since it doesn't say here, it targets enemy, the highest power enemy card just anywhere on the board.
Yeah.
So like it could be a way to win locations that you might otherwise not be able to win because your space is full, or
Hmm.
you know some sort of lockdown, like they played lockdown against you, or like it seems like a pretty okay card, right? Like I mean,
Yeah.
four
I
tens. We
mean,
love four tens.
yeah, 410 is not bad. Obviously, 410 is insane. But I think when I think of this card, I think of a 3-2. And that is Luke Cage. If Luke Cage is on the board for your opponents, this card is a 4-3, a vanilla 4-3. This card does nothing at the end of the day. Um, but like in the games where Luke Cage is not down, this card is not a awesome Andy level of bad, is what I'm saying. I think this is an okay card with an mediocre to bad stat line with a cool effect. I think I'm glad that we haven't activated afflicts. I'm glad that we have the option to do this now. I just don't think I rate this as one of like the better cards of the season, like at all. But like it's a cool card. Like props to them, for coming out with this.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like it, it's very reminiscent of Claw, right? And like sometimes you just play Claw for the points, right? Like you don't always have to do like some sort of synergy thing with this,
Yeah.
but like sometimes you're just playing Claw and like 4/3 Claw. I mean, I'm interested.
For three claw, yeah, for sure. But I think the difference between her and Claw is that Claw is an ongoing that doesn't die to another that doesn't die to Luke Cage. Like obviously, the whole
Well,
argument
I
is
mean,
based around
yeah.
Luke Cage.
Okay, but like, how much Luke Cage are you seeing in the meta? Like, who's playing
That's true.
Affliction right now?
100%. 100%. Yeah. You're 100% right. I think that for where the meta is at, it is I would rate it to a 4 to 5 card out of 10. I think that it is a cool card that if you can pick up, cool. But you don't have to pick it up, like at all. Like it is not a mandatory card to pick up in the slightest. You
Unless you're like a hardcore
know?
Cerebro 3 player who just needs to have every 3 power card.
Exactly. Unless you're Jay Walla, you really don't need the card.
Oh man. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I think we've said everything that we can say about this.
for sure. Oh, and if anyone had to guess, Awesome Andy is a 2 out of 10 to a 3 out of 10 for me, and I would assume it's the same for someone.
No, it's a 1 out of 10, dude.
Oh,
It's
it's one
it's
out of
not
10.
even it's not even
Yeah.
a 2 out of 10, dude.
I'm giving it the 2 out of 10 because of the Mad Thinker bias, but like I would agree, I could see it being a 1 out of 10 without a doubt. It's just not a good card.
Yeah. I mean, like, okay, look, the only way to make Awesome Andy worth it is if you're using Merlin, and Merlin is an evil card, so I
I forget that you hate Merlin. That's hilarious. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, someone hates Merlin because it turns off his limbo most of the times. Yeah.
can't. It's not even just that it turns it off, it's that it has like a 33% chance of turning it off. Like I had to guess. It's like a guessing game. I was like, theoretically, like sometimes there are games where it's like, well, mathematically speaking, I should stay, but like, if they have omniversal presence, I lose. But like, I couldn't know that. It's like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Merlin needs to be a 2/2 yesterday.
Yeah, I think I still love Merlin. I'm a big Merlin guy. I think especially because he works with the Mad Thinker. But yes, I will stop bothering everybody with the Mad Thinker shenanigans, um, for sure. But I guess it is now time to talk about the next segment of our pod, and that is the Golden Gauntlet. And this is the second qualifier for Worlds. It's happening tomorrow, which is Saturday the 6th. And I'm going to be competing in it. I don't think someone is. I think he's waiting for the third qualifier to come around.
Yeah, I'll be competing in the next one.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Uh, uh,
He's confident in
Presumably,
making it.
assuming they do like accept me, right? Since it's a random, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So I am competing, and I guess we'll talk a little bit about what I'm bringing and what how do I expect to do, and what the meta will be around what the Golden Gauntlet is. I'm going to be bringing a Morgan Le Fay deck. In other words, I am here to lose, is what I'm saying. But I'm a big
No,
Morgan
don't say that.
believer,
Have a little bit of confidence.
That's true. I mean, Mad Finger's in the deck, therefore it wins automatically.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, I didn't expect to do insane. I expect like I probably to get a decent record, but like I'm not bringing the most competitive deck in the world, like at all. Um, I expect there to be a lot of combo decks. I could see a lot of Hella. I could see Mr. Negative starting to pop in a little bit. Maybe not as much as Hella though. Agatha Hella specifically, which I think is still needs an emergency nerf. Like right now, that card is that deck is
Oh yeah.
insane. Um, and I expect there to be a lot of the text flop as well. I think there's gonna be a lot of Stardust as well, which doesn't usually mesh well with what I'm trying to do, but like I can work around it. So like I'm not like this was not the best meta for me to bring Morgan to because I run Bucky Barnes and I run what's his name Airwalker, and both of those cards die to Stardust, which is gonna be a popular card in the tournament. I mean, like I said, I expected to be a lot of tech slop. I expected to be a lot of combo decks, and then there's going to be me, the most random person in the world, just running Morgan.
Like the only Mad Thinker player.
The only mad thinker, exactly. You know.
I mean, could you elaborate on their list though?
Yeah, my list,
You
of
mentioned
course.
that I had Mad Thinker in it, but I think the audience might want to know exactly
Yeah,
what the full list is.
of course, of course. Let me go ahead and pull it up right now. I suck at this, obviously. Sorry, everybody.
He doesn't have it memorized. He
I don't
doesn't
have
have
it
his
memorized.
own list memorized.
I should have this list memorized, honestly, at this point. Okay, here's my deck list. Okay, my deck list is Silver Sable, Rocket Raccoon, Nico Minoru, Mad Thinker, Bucky Barnes, Carnage, Grandmaster Rogue, Airwalker, Killmonger, Venom, and Morgan Le Fay. Okay, so for those of you who are listening closely, you heard Rogue. Now, your initial reaction should be, why the hell are you running Rogue in this list? Be honest with me. My initial reaction, my initial, I guess you call it, response to that would be one card. I hate what's his name? No. No absolutely ruins me. Like I cannot compete against Null, especially when my entire strategy is around destroying and bringing back cards. Null is like automatically at least 30 power because I'm sometimes I'm going out there, I'm destroying a 20 power Venom to bring him back to hand. And like I struggle in I cannot beat Null usually, And like at least Rogue gives me a fighting chance in beating Null. Like I can steal the Null, and all of a sudden it's not a 70 power Null for them, it's a 70 power Null for me. And Rogue is basically just is here for that, for Null. And also like the meta is built around a couple ongoings like Mobius, a couple ongoings like Stardust. You also have Mr. Negative, which is sometimes bringing in Gore. So if I play the deck correctly, I can steal a Stardust, I can steal literally anything. And so like Rogue has a purpose, although sometimes you just say she's just sitting in my hand doing nothing. She is my only tech card that I am running. It's basically just to deal with Null, because I can't beat Null any other way.
I will say that is checking in Rogue just to deal with one ongoing card. I think is a noble and wise thing to do.
Says a negative guy.
Yeah, I mean, I have the same feeling with Mobius, right? Where in Conquest, I just like I have to tech in Rogue just for Mobius so that I don't
Just for
instantly
Mobius, yeah.
lose. So yeah, I understand the sentiment. With Rogue, like you do well in destroying matchups against Null,
Yeah.
because I guess since it's open decklist, they'll know that you have it, so it's more of a like, where are you gonna play the Null? Can I steal it? It's a priority
Yeah.
thing. Um,
Exactly.
Touching upon the metagame of Golden Gauntlet, my prediction is that there will be a lot of combo decks like Mr. Negative and Agatha Hella and perhaps other more unique combo decks. I can't think of off the top of my head. I mean,
Yeah.
those are the two prominent ones. And
Yeah.
surely there must be another one, right? But
100%.
some stuff with like Dakin and Bullseye, like
Yeah.
really
And like
trying to get
ongoing
them to
shenanigans.
and the ongoing
Yeah.
shenanigans. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of combo decks, but I don't think that a lot of them are gonna make it to top 16.
Hmm.
Um, like stuff like Mr. Negative. I love Mr. Negative, but in a conquest format, it's kind of cursed.
Yeah.
Like it's not impossible. Like most of the time, if you get a good matchup, you win, right? But
Yeah.
the moment, even if you get like a mid matchup, like it's you can still like pull out, like pull ahead, right? But
Hmm.
the moment you hit like a matchup against Mobius, it's like, oh man, dude, like if you don't have Rogue, you just like lose. I don't think Mr. Negative is gonna make it very far. I will be
No.
a little bit surprised if there is a single Mr. Negative deck in the top 16. I
Hmm.
would not be surprised if there are multiple Hella decks in the top 16,
No,
but
100%
those are
not.
those
No.
are a lot more consistent. And Stardust is much it's a much harder tech card to put into decks. I don't think there's going to be as much Stardust as there will be Mobius. Like in
Hmm.
previous Golden Gauntlet, Mobius like was one of the, I think when one of them it was like the most brought card.
Hmm.
Uh, um, and there's a lot of like energy discount going around in the meta with Pixie stuff. So I do think Mobius is going to be brought very heavily. Stardust less so. So
Hmm.
might let some Agatha gamers skate through. Besides the combo decks, the rest of it is going to be, I mean, like cerebral mid range stuff. Like, I mean,
Probably. Yeah.
yeah, like
100%.
either stuff running the tech, the decks that are running the tech, or like cerebro.
I think we're going to see a lot of like I don't want to just devolve into saying this, but it's going to be a lot of can best deck piles. That's what's going to be.
Well, yeah,
I
probably like Ken Best released like the last three videos of Ken Best. That's like half of the half
Yeah.
of all the decks.
100%. Yeah. Like I'm personally not a big fan of facing tech piles, but like that's because I usually don't run tech as much. Like obviously, I understand tech is needed in the game, and I definitely think that they need to start buffing a couple tech cards that help deal with Hella. But like, I think Stardust. I think they need to find a. I think people have yet to find out how to use Stardust effectively. I think that it is since it is a four cost card and it is only a tech card. I think people are struggling to put him in decks because he's demanding that four slot. Like I see people put him in Wiccan piles, and I think those decks are probably gonna have the most success. I would say in Golden Gauntlet besides Hela, because you are able to like obviously you have the choice of playing Stardust or Wiccan, and when you are given the choice to play Stardust or Wiccan, it's basically just a matchup thing. Like if you don't need Stardust, he just sits in your deck. He's a 4/7. Like if you really need to, you can dump him on 6. He still has like a decent stat line for like at a 4 cost. Um, but I think he's gonna be. I think Stardust is just a little harder than Mobius to work into decks, like work into a regular deck. Like I can run like even Wiccan piles. I would say would rather run Mobius and have Wiccan be their only 4 cost, and then have a higher curve than have 2 4 costs and then like a little less of a high curve, to take advantage of that.
Yeah, yeah. I did forget about Wiccan there for a second. I knew I was forgetting something. I was like, well, there's got to be more. There's got to be more. But yeah,
Yeah.
Wiccan is probably another contender. Like, I mean, people are just running Quicksilver Dominant. I remember when that used to be like like memed upon. Like, oh, Quicksilver is a noob card. It's like Domino is even worse. But I guess with Wiccan, Quicksilver is pretty useful to get the Wiccan proc, and Domino as a 2/4 is like, it's not insignificant stats. Like
No,
they're doing
100% not.
2/4 with
Yeah.
upside now, second inner.
For
So
sure, for sure. I'm happy with where the meta is at. Well, maybe not.
maybe
I
not.
am okay with where the meta is at right now. Obviously I wish that they had a little bit more, I guess, tech responses to Hella Agatha, because I still think that deck is absolutely broken and there's very little counterplay to it besides Stardust. But like if if you are playing Hella Agatha and your opponent doesn't have Stardust, you will win 90% of the times. Like the deck is insane, especially if you are drawing what's his name? Redshift on 2 into a 3 cost on 3. Like I've heard Danish, who's probably I would consider him to be the best Hella player in the world. I've heard Danish say that if you have the Redshift into a 3 line, you snap. Like that is insane. Like you are snapping on turn, honestly, even 1 if you have a good hands. Like it is stupid how good this deck is.
I mean, actually, speaking of Agatha, we'll do a little tangent about Agatha just now. Agatha's kind of crazy. Agatha needs to be nerfed like a month ago. like Agatha needed to be nerfed when Redshift came out. It's kind of crazy how good that little combo is.
Oh yeah, no.
Um,
I think
like
I think the thing with Agatha, she's just making your draws more consistent because you're
yeah,
already starting out with a card in your hand, an extra card in your hand.
yeah, I mean, like that's how they nerfed it. Like that's why Thanos was too good. Like they nerfed Thanos by like making him not start in hand.
Yeah.
That was the big nerf that they gave to Thanos, and like Agatha just gets to skate by. Like theoretically, before Redshift, she was like she could have been a downside if you didn't draw like a Lady Sif or Moon Knight. You're kind of stuck with Agatha. But now with Redshift,
Yeah. It's an
the
upside.
probability of you discarding Agatha before she can do anything really harmful to you is like 90%. Like she already makes her draws better. She's like a deck thinner. But like now with like multiple tools to discard Agatha, like starting from like the very beginning, turn 2 to even if you don't draw Redshift, you're probably playing Lady Sif, so you can discard it. It's like
Mhm.
it's we've turned we've stopped caring about Agatha's downside. That like no longer
Yeah.
matters. It doesn't happen
100%.
anymore.
Yeah. And usually you turn it into an upside with Redshift because you're also creating an extra 6 in hand, which in a tournament standard, as many people will tell you, Redshift is a great tournament card because there is the hidden information of the extra 6. It could be a Gore against a Bounceless, which is an auto snap most of the times. It could be a Doctor Doom, which your opponent never expects. Who runs Doctor Doom? And so
yeah,
like it's insane.
it's the information asymmetry that we've seen in previous Golden Gauntlets. Like
Mhm.
Butt
Airship.
was running like yeah Airshim like Airshim one right like
Mhm.
like Airshim one Golden Gauntlet 2
Yes.
and then but there was also like notable lists like Butt was running like Hulkling, right? And like
Yeah,
Hulkling was just like the you don't know why is he snapping? He has some like maybe he has like Galactus Hulkling. It's like
exactly. Yeah,
you just can't know. You just can't know. And
you
that's
you
the
can't
sort of
know what
thing
they're
that is
playing exactly.
and that's the
It's
sort of thing
insane.
in an open decklist format where like you know what your opponent's cards are theoretically. Any information asymmetry like turns the tide in your favor,
Oh
right?
yeah,
So
which
like
is
you
sorry.
know
I
what
don't want
they
to interrupt.
have and they don't know what you have.
Yeah, 100%, and which is why we have cards like Iron Patriot, which are no, which have seen notable uses in Golden Gaunts because of that information asymmetry. You have all of these like great like information asymmetry cards, which just always perform really well. Like Hulkling, like on a regular game to game basis, like Hulkling is not a good card, but like the information asymmetry that he gives you, like he could be a Doom, he could be a Gore, he could be a Galactus, like insane amounts of stuff.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
mean,
100%.
so as you can tell, we're both pretty excited. I won't be participating, but I'll definitely be cheering on Mario, and maybe you'll catch him on the big screen if he makes it to top 16.
Doubtful, but hey, I can dream, can I?
Yeah, yeah, I mean, we all dream. You gotta rep Matt Tinker, that's
That's the point. I'm there so that Thinker can shine. Is what I'm doing.
yeah. Well, I think that concludes our episode for today.
Hmm.
If you guys liked it, then make sure to comment, subscribe, leave a like, share this with your friends,
Hmm.
rewatch the video
Multiple times, please.
multiple times.
For sure, yeah.
um,
So again, thank you guys so much for watching this first episode. It is a little scuff probably because it's just like how we started the video. Like I didn't have stuff pulled up. Like it's just us learning over time. We love doing. We would love to keep doing this. We would love if you guys, like if you guys like want to keep showing us your support. Just like someone said, like, subscribe, comment down below. And like anything helps us.
Yeah, yeah, we really love Moral Snap. We're very passionate about this game, and
Hmm.
getting the opportunity to share that passion with the world. I mean, that's all we can ask for. And
Exactly. Yeah.
and if we can grow this to be its own thing, its own self-sustaining thing, then that'll be even better.
It would be awesome for sure. Yeah.
It'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So thank you everybody again,
So,
for tuning into the Snapping All In podcast, and until next week.
all right, see you guys. Bye bye.
We did it! Oh my gosh, and that was good. I think we did a good job.